Good afternoon. Welcome along to the Steve Wraith interview, and I've got my good pal Gary Firby, the Duke of Windy Nook. How are you, Gary?
All right, spot on. How's yourself?
Very good, mate. Good to see you. How you been coping with the lockdown?
Well, I've been doing all right, to be fair. I've still been dotting about and getting out and about, just with my job and that as well. Still at work and that. But I know it's hard for some people who kind of get out of the house and that they must be around the twist.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Been
you got to give some of these parents with the kids who've got the kids 24/7. Hats off to the minute.
Yeah, it's been difficult. The kids have been homeschooling me, Gary, not the other way
God,
around.
wow, it must be hard for them, like bless them. But
Oh,
everything's good. Everything's good.
yeah, good stuff, mate. Right, well, obviously what we want to do is we want to have a chat about the unlicensed boxing game, the pro boxing game, and your fights really. But we'll start off in the early days. Where were you born, Gary, and where were you brought up?
I was born in Gateshead. I was by Benjamin Hospital, where I was born in Gateshead. Lived in Felon all my life, Windy Nook. Started boxing when I was 9 years old. My Uncle Ronnie, he took us to my first boxing gym. And just went from there, really. Went from there. Being a kind of little adventure. Spot on.
You started off at what age? What 9-year-old did you say when you were boxing?
9 year old. I started off at 9 year old at Bull ABC, Gordon French. That's where I started off there, learned to box because my uncle was a good boxer, Ronnie Nesbitt, and my other uncle Tommy Whitty was a good boxer, and them guys into boxing really. So boxing was in my family and that,
What was it like at that age then? I mean, did you find it difficult, or were you naturally fit, or were you struggling?
It's hard. I was all right, to be fair, because I was brought up around them. So I was used to have bits of sparring and that, and do stuff. And obviously, I was getting keen and ended up in the gym, ended up with bowling. That's where I started off. I went from there to Gated Stadium, old Chris Dodds. I was there for a bit, and then I had my first fight for Felon Victoria, Tommy Toad, David Gregory, Glenn Crowley at that gym. Remember in the Felon, the old church?
St. Patrick's.
Was in March 1993 when I had my first fight. I was 7 stone 5. Weighing in as a spare. In them days, you used to have people go to a show and you could weigh in as a spare. So if anybody pulled out, you'd get on the show. And I got 20 minutes notice to get on for my first fight. So I didn't have time to get nervous, really. I fought Paul McGreevy, and I got beat by 1 point. And me and him ended up boxing each other 6 times. Right? A little trilogy we had. It's all good stuff.
How did that trilogy work out against Paul? And did you manage to even it up? And did you take the lead, or how did it work out?
It was 4-2 to me. 4-2. I remember once he fought us in remember it used to be the Four Cross Hotel at next door Icon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fought there. I'll never forget the first punch he hit us with. He broke my nose. Oh, now I've never had a broken nose before, and I was nearly crying. Oh, I was like Muhammad Ali doing that ring, spinning around that ring, jabbing away. I beat him. And then I ended up fighting him a couple of weeks later. He beat me. It was like backwards and forwards, but I ended up winning 4-2. Like, he's a top lad, Paul, nice kid.
Yeah, he is. He did really well on the unlicensed scene as well. So, I mean, getting into the training's one thing, doing the circuit training's one thing, but actually getting through them ropes and sparring and then eventually competing, even at amateur level, it takes a lot of doing. I mean, I know, from my experience when I did it, I went down to the gym. We used to do circuit training together, but I'll never forget the day that I went in and did some sparring and thought I was doing all right for the first round, and then got into the second round, and this kid just hit us with a big right hand and didn't put us down. But I knew then that it wasn't for me, boxing, and I just didn't fancy getting punched in the face. And what made it an attractive option to you? I mean, did you say there that you felt like crying after getting the nose, but what made you continue? That would be enough to put a lot of people off, Gary.
It was funny because I was just mentioning this to somebody the other day. My first ever sparring session, I was 9-year-old, and I got stuck in. I don't know why, but I got put in the ring with this laddie. He had 3-1-2. He was 11-year-old, and he gave us such a good hiding. Like, I think I might have been a bit cheeky, I've been a bit cocky. He gave us such a good hiding, and I don't know what burst out laughing. Remember it? I enjoyed it. The training was up and down. Sometimes you could be bothered, and other times you couldn't. But now I like getting in, and it was just you set goals, didn't you? You just want to go as far as you can and just do stuff in it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and it's good. It's a good discipline when you're that age, especially 9, 10, and growing up growing up. It keeps you physically fit. It keeps you out of trouble, and it disciplines you, doesn't it?
It is. It's the best form of discipline ever. Boxing for training, just everything's discipline. It's old school, isn't it? Old school stuff. It's definitely discipline, and it's fitness. It's a different type of fitness as well. You kind of get any fitter than a boxer. I think, me personally, I mean, it's hard training and dedication in it.
Yeah, 100%. It's hard training and dedication. So, is anybody else? I mean, does anybody else stand out? Did anybody go on to have a good career who you started off at amateur level with, or has anybody boxed at amateur?
There's Paul Fisk, he turned pro, he done well. Graham Alderson, he went in the Marines. Remember Graham?
Graham, yeah.
He done well. He was ranked 2 in Britain or something, wasn't he, in the amateurs? Gary Dixon, I boxed Gary Dixon. He was my last amateur fight. I think he became English Masters champion as a pro, didn't he? From Carlisle, Gary Dixon.
Yeah.
You meet some good lads along the way. Spotted some good lads along the way. Like I said, with Kevin Bennett, Francis Jones, all them. And you all become friends for life, to be fair. Like,
yeah,
one big family.
It's a good community boxing, whether it's amateur or pro. As you say, you do become one big family, and you do enjoy your time, in the boxing fraternity. But as an amateur, just explain to people watching. I mean, you go out, you're learning your craft. How do you take the next step, in the amateurs to become a professional? When do you decide that you're going to become a professional? Because
back then
you get pushed into, is it?
I got asked to turn pro a few times, but I was sort of starting like come out of boxing, like the amateurs like packing in, and I got asked to go on pro. Paul Fisk asked to go on pro. Me and our John turned pro, John Jackson, for Tommy Conroy at the ring test. But at the time, Tommy Conroy had Ryan Kerr, Paul and Andrew Buchanan, and who else? Danny Moyer. So we all knew each other as well. Done the ring test, and if you pass the ring test, you turn pro, don't you? And it's a different level. It's a different level, turning pro. Yeah. It's hard, a lot harder. A lot harder. The training was good. I mean, me and Danny Meyer used to have some right walls, and Paul and Andrew Buchanan and that. But back then, the pro game, you had no sponsors on out. It was hard. I had to work. Like, I was working through the week. I was doing 4 or 5 nights on the door, trying to feed a family, and trying to get training in, and trying to make 12 stone, 11 stone, 10. It was hard then. And the money, I used to get £500 to fight pro, and then they took the deductions off. I think you come up with 370 or something like that for a 6-rounder. Yeah. And that's how I ended up getting unlicensed. So it was more money than unlicensed. So when I went to London.
How many pro fights did you have, Gary?
I had 5 pro, 1, 2, lost 2, drew 1. That's what I had. I got my jaw broke. And obviously I couldn't afford to renew my license and all that, because obviously I was working my arse off to pay bills and provide for kids, you know what I mean? Provide with Ben. Like I say, different nowadays, all sponsors and that, people back me up and sponsor. There was none in the 90s, late 90s. I think it was 98 when I turned pro, 98 or 99 when I turned pro. All right.
Yeah, I mean, what's the difference between the amateurs and the pros? I mean, is there a big difference? Is there a big jump? When you become, if you go from non-league into the football league as a footballer, people say, oh, it's a big jump. What do you think?
There's different standard, and a different standard. Even the punching's different. From an amateur, you get clocked as an amateur. Jump from the amateurs to the pros, you feel a difference. Like technique as well. Technique's a lot different, I think. I learned a bit more stuff off Tommy Conroy, who was a great coach. You adjust your style a bit in that. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you change it, you learn things. It's another learning curve, isn't it? And you learn things. Tommy used to always say, every 2 seconds, pop a jab out. So he says, in the amateurs, you wouldn't do that, but in the pros, you did. That's what we were told to do. Keep your jab out, keep it out, and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah, good stuff, mate. We've got a few comments coming in already. The Duke from Windy Nuke says, Vision Dom FN. Where did that nickname come from? Obviously, you're from the Felon, but where did that come from, and who gave you the nickname?
I give it myself.
Right.
I took it off Brian Payne. Because he used to call himself the Duke of Windy Nuke, and everybody knows Brian Payne in the Felon. And I was like, hey, he's the Duke of Windy Nuke. You're fucking kidding, ain't you? And he went and grasped on us and says I was bullying him. I think it was for all his lies. I wasn't bullying him. So I says, well, in fact, you're not the Duke of Windy. I sent a message to him. I went, you're not the Duke of Windy Nuke. I went, I'm the Duke. I went, I'm going to be the Duke of Windy Nuke. Just for a laugh, I said it, you know. Stuck with us, didn't it? All right. Lion Brian, bless him.
Muck Murphy says Ashley versus Gary Firby. I think he's wondering if you would take on Mike Ashley if he doesn't sell the club, Gary.
Oh, he wants booted out, didn't he? Wants booted out. I tell him I'll say him and chuck him. Pull him with my ankles.
Paul Boyce, have you ever fought any Irish lads?
I did. I fought this traveller in Nottingham. He was Irish, but we fought in Nottingham Arena. I can't even remember his name now. I boxed on a show. Paul Fisk boxed on a show, and Ian Toby. Who else did I think I boxed a couple of Irish lads. I boxed one when I was amateur as well. Tall laddie, he boxed out at Benwell ABC. Forgot his name as well. I boxed a couple of Irish people.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, mate. John Ball, he says, Gary, who was your boxing idol growing up?
Joe Louis, the brown bomber. I like Joe Louis. I used to follow all the old fights. Loved all the old black and white fights and all that. And Joe Louis stood out. It was like he's my hero. Like longest reigning champion, most title defenses. My son, our Joe, that's his name, Joe Louis Firby. Joe Louis is a top man. Mine and George Foreman, I like Big George as well. The punching preacher, you couldn't get any tougher than him now, could you?
No, definitely not. Stephanie Tickner says, is Gary going to defend the Guv'nor title or has he retired?
I've packed in. I come back in after 2 years. I got offered well, what happened was, right, there's got to be a bit of controversy when this guy's on YouTube, there'll be some comments, but I fought for the Guv'nor. I fought the Guv'nor once before, down London. You were there yourself. After a couple of rounds, I wasn't allowed to go the distance. I was going to win. So, and I'm saying it from the heart and I'm telling the truth. And I was trying to get another shot at it, and I never did. So Norman Buckland gave us a shot of it. What was going to have to be in the hay bales, and there was no rounds, unlimited knockdowns, and it was to the first one give up. So I took it. I shouldn't have really boxed because I've got loads of injuries and that. But what I'd done was I took it, but I forgot I took D-Day the next day as well. So I took D-Day, then I took the Guv'nor one. So at 40-year-old, I had to do 2 fights when there were 15 of us. I come back up there with a broken hand, 3 hours kept, had a Sunday dinner, and went to the Fen one again. I wasn't a million bits. But it was an achievement when I won the Guv'nor title, and I'm classed as the official Guv'nor, and other people say different doing the road, and they're bringing books out about the true license or whatever, but we're not puppets, so we're there. I've never ducked anybody and fought everybody, you know. And it's something I'm proud of. There it is, there, belt. And Roy Shaw's belt there as well.
Yeah.
That belt. Aye. So it was good. It was an experience. A lot of people thought I couldn't do it. They're going, yeah, I'm going to have 2 fights in 2 days. I went, I'm telling you, watch this, I'll do it. Because I'm strong-minded, like I just believe in myself, and I thought, you know. And I've done it. I've done it with a broken hand and half. The first shot was game over. I'm glad, right, because I didn't want it to go on any longer. So I nailed it in the coat that our hand right straight away. Sealed the deal for us, really, right? So spot on. What's that say?
Lily Trumbull says this man is a total legend. He's knocked him out from Kendal to Kent.
Cheers, thank you. Thank you.
Lee Ellison says Fury or Joshua?
I'd say Fury, I'll say. Fury's the best heavyweight on the planet. He's the best heavyweight on the planet. Joshua's out, is he?
No.
He's what is he? He's made, isn't he?
Manufactured.
Manufactured, that's the one, aye. So
your Joe's on, he says you've had more comebacks than any man. I would say you've had more comebacks than Frank Sinatra. 100%.
That's it, aye, more comebacks than Frank Sinatra. What a topper.
So obviously you came out of the pro game, and I think a lot of people don't appreciate how difficult the pro game is. I've mentioned this many occasions. Obviously, I'm involved in the pro game now, and I don't think people realise, essentially, to put on a pro fight, for example, it's, you're talking £3,500–4,000 overheads just to put an actual show on. Then you've got to pay the fighters, the away fighters. And then obviously there's money to be paid to the home fighter. Now it's why ticket deals are so prominent in the pro game now.
A lot of stress on the pro boxers to sell the tickets. They do have a lot of stress on them. Even back then it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you make more money being a journeyman, don't you? To be fair.
Yeah.
Like traveling around. I'll tell you, was a good journeyman. Little Gary Reeve.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He done well, and it's been around the country and that, and you need sponsors and that as well. It's hard getting people to put money into stuff in it. Yeah. It's more and more like nowadays. But the pro game went massive up, but I think it's died off a little bit, Steve.
I don't think it's died off. I think obviously COVID's not going to help though, because I don't think you'll see a small hall show until next year now, and that's going to affect it. I think since I came into pro boxing in 8 years ago now, we've seen a massive turnaround. There's been a huge jump in people turning professional from the unlicensed game, and I think ultimately you've seen a massive amount of shows in 8 years. I think I've done almost as many professional shows now as I've done white collar. So you're talking 33, 34 shows I've done.
Right.
And on top of that, you've had Phil Jeffries, who before we started working together was also doing the same amount of shows. And then we've had other people fighting Chance that they set up for a couple of years, and with Ronnie Rowe, God bless him, who was doing shows. We've had other promoters who've done one show and then not bothered. We've had Warren come up here and do a couple, and now we've got Eddie Hearn here because of the success of Lewis Ritson. So it's probably boomed, but it's ticking over now. And I just think obviously this is a huge setback, COVID, for the boxing scene up here.
For everything. Well, I've got a show with my mate Christian Roberts on Wraith Meadows on August 8th. The HBL show got some top fighters on: Jamie Jones, Dougie Cullen, Chrissy Bennett, all on. Yeah, it was a good one. Our Joe's on it, and Ali wants to have a shot of it. And we just hope by August 8th everything will be all right, because, like you say, it has got a knock-on effect to everything. And the reckon July the 1st, the bars are going to open. Yeah. So we'll just see what happens, and everything's put way on.
See how it pans out. Lily Trumbull says, boxed twice in 2 nights, was on the drink before, during and after. You're some fighter.
That's true and all. I know 5 in the morning. I was lying in the bath with the shower on. Sent my last time Burger King and went and chinned him.
Steve Brown says, Mike Tyson's comeback. What's your thoughts, Gary? He seems to have calmed down. What did you used to do to psych yourself up before a fight? So first of all, Mike Tyson's comeback. What do you think about that?
Right. Calm down. I psych myself. I never really psyched myself up, to be fair. I don't know. Did you ever see us psyched up? When I boxed, I was never just walking normal. I was never like a lunatic and out like that, wasn't I? I was walking.
No. And what about Mike Tyson's comeback, Gary?
Well, they're blowing into the proportion. They're saying they were trying to say he's going to turn pro again and that. But it's only going to be exhibitions, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
Good on it. good on him because I tell you what, he looks in great shape.
Yeah, he does.
He looks in great shape, and good on him. Yeah, Holyfield's going to do one now, isn't he?
Yeah, apparently we'll see whether these come off. It'll be interesting to see. But I mean, for me, people like Mike Tyson and that, they shouldn't get in the ring. He's done all he needs to do. He seems to have turned his life around. He's got himself in a stable place, a stable condition. I just wish they would lift the ban on Mike Tyson traveling to the UK, so we'll get him back up to the northeast, because he's done he's done 3 shows up here, 2 of which I've promoted. It would be great to get him back up, because I know there's a lot of people who would love to meet him, but unfortunately he's still banned from the UK with that with that rape conviction that still hangs over him.
Yeah, he's a legend, isn't he?
Yes, Lee Ellison says, who gave Gary the toughest fight on the unlicensed scene? What was your toughest fight, Gary?
Yeah, a couple actually. Darren Davis was one. Fucking the hardest punch I've ever been hit with. Hit that hard when I hit the floor. I thought I went through the floor. I was still pugging in the second room when I come out. I've had a few hard fights. So Darren Davis, Wes Smith, tough lad. Scott Whelan, Bam Bam, remember Bam Bam from Birmingham? He was 20 stone or something. I boxed him the first time, drew with him. Boxed him the second time, I beat him. I had a few hard fights. Hardest punch was definitely Darren Davis. If he's watching this, he knows it. He knocked us into next week. Every fight's a hard fight, and even if it's an easy fight, it's hard getting through them ropes, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Everyone's a winner who gets from them ropes. There's never a loss on my eyes. Like never.
It's the hardest thing to do. Well, we've got the elephant in the room too. People have asked this question. I know you aren't keen really on mentioning the guy for obvious reasons, but John Smart first of all says, how does Gary feel about Heggie, meaning Decker Heggie? Obviously, I did see the podcast that he did with Sean Atwood. I'm not sure whether you've seen it, but he obviously didn't name you, but he certainly was implying that when he came to the Leisure Centre on a show that I promoted when I was doing the Unlicensed many years ago, that the infamous knockout, which was something just over 10 seconds.
17, including the count on it.
That he took a dive. It actually took him longer to get in the ring than it did for that fight. But believe you me, anyone watching this, I will happily say that Decker Heggie wasn't under the influence of cocaine that day. He was ready to fight. He was going to knock Gary out, and he was well up for the show. No way in the world did he come to lose that fight. And that he took a dive against the guy who I was managing and promoting at the time is ludicrous. But I don't know whether you can add anything more to that, Gary. But
what you said there's a totally truth in it. It wasn't a dive, and after all this time, he just comes up with this because I've won the Guv'nor title. I offered him the fight. When he was this Guv'nor was fake, I offered him the fight. He didn't want it, but he's starting to spout off. It was just attention now because I've got this belt and I didn't really like talking, but you hear that much about him now. He's Facebook famous, and he's a legend. He's on YouTube. He's a legend. He makes his videos about everything, but he got whopped. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. And everybody knows a compulsive liar, doesn't he? So.
Willie Trump, I'm sure this will be the last question we get about him. He says, how do you feel about Heggie and Danny?
I know Danny. Danny's a good lad. Known Danny for a few years. What does he mean by them two are fighting?
There must be.
I'd say Danny's good lad, good boxer, fast, Decker's strong, but Danny can whack Danny. But we'll see whatever happens in that. That's another thing in it. Whatever happens, just watch YouTube. Argue all the time.
Nina Cranstoun's on. She says, you've been in the game for years, obviously, Gary. Who is the best female you have worked with in boxing? She went, answer that very carefully.
No, Nina's top last. Remember Steve, Nina was there when I won the Royal Show belt, and I'd done the Orthodox shows up here. Top last, Nina, good last. Put a show on. Was up and down one of the shows, different ticket deals, and stuff like that. It was hard to put a show on at the time, right? But we'll give it a shot. She's a cracking lass and a cracking friend, but you know, still, well, we're going back years, don't we? Top
Yeah.
lass.
Fair play to her for coming up to Newcastle, and I mean, she knew she could rely on me, but she definitely valued the fact that you got involved. It helped her to the extent that you did, and take me hat off to her. It's a tough industry for anybody to be in, but for her to come in as the first.
And at the time, there was loads of boxing shows, and I mean, now it's just like Day, Fist of Fury, Billy Hawthorns, and Andrew Wedges. At the time, there was a lot of other people had shows on. They had Lee Rogan. Well, everybody was putting shows on, wasn't they? Every man and the dog thought they could make a few quid, didn't they?
Yeah, 100%. It just, I mean, that's the main reason I got out of the unlicensed game.
I see you got out of it just at the right time, because everybody started jumping on the bandwagon, didn't they?
Probably quite. Unfortunately, it was only going to end in one way, and it was going to dilute the whole thing. And you know, too many greedy people out there, and it's you know, you just don't need the hassle. And I went into the pro game definitely at the right time. It was on its backside in Newcastle and Gateshead. You know, nobody putting shows on in Newcastle and Gateshead, and it resurrected it, which was great. You know, I'm pleased I made that move 100%. Not financially, because there's no money in the pro game, even for the promoter. But yeah. Right. Was definitely the right move. Tom Dixon, talking about the pro game, says, when will Lewis Ritzer be fighting again? I really like him. Tom, he'll be fighting supposedly in July, but until we get the return to boxing rings, I'm not sure whether that'll get put off till later in the year. My guess would be September, October for that show in Newcastle, but it's nothing been announced yet. But the paperwork that I keep getting through from the Boxing Board of Control would tend to suggest we're not going to be returning to. Well, the lads aren't even training properly yet. You know, they can train, but they're being advised to train outdoors, not train in gyms. Gyms aren't expected to be open until potentially July, so that would mean you're not going to be looking, you know, to professional boxing returning. I would have said until August. So hopefully that'll just be enough time for Gary's show down at Rainton Meadows when he's having his bare knuckle bash down there. Which
of course, that'll be a cracking show. Show.
Joe Firby says, Firby versus Andy Ross. What's your thoughts?
Andy Ross? Who's Andy Ross?
I've got no idea. That's from Joe.
Is he not fighting Andrew Shields? I thought he was fighting Andrew Shields more, Joe.
You have to ask him. Maybe it's Andy Ross. I've got no idea. He's Andy
Ross. Oh, he's a heavyweight, Andy Ross. Andy Ross, he's a good lad. He's a bare knuckle lad. I would never fight Andy Ross. I wouldn't say who. I'm not one of these who would say, well, I think I'd win or he would win. You do know who would win. You just see the better man on the night, and whoever wins. And Andy Ross is a nice lad. I've got a lot of time for Andy. Respectable, lovely, nice man when he's speaking to him, and a good fighter.
Joe's messaged in again. He says he means the bomber.
But that's what I've just answered, Joe. He doesn't have to. He's trying to be YouTube famous now, isn't he?
Good. So let's get back to the unlicensed stuff. Obviously, you had a spell in prison, Gary. You know, basically had a domestic issue, which was one of those things which, you know, you now regret. You had to go to prison. How did you cope with jail?
Well, the first week it was out, and then it sinks in, doesn't it? You go through the ups and downs mentally until you just adjust to it, and by the end of it, like halfway through it, I was actually alright. But going to jail is not big and it's not clever, is it? It was a fucking stupid mistake I'd done. I lost my temper, getting messed about, pestered off the ex and all that. Fucking clipped my boyfriend, who country was set up. Yeah. And I totally regret that, and I've always regretted it. All of us, what's it called? Green-eyed monsters. That's what it is. I went to jail, come back out, and start boxing again. Within 12 months, within 4 months, I was well back on my feet, back to work and everything. But nah, jail's not a thing to be proud of and out like that. So many young ones are watching it. Just keep your nose clean, stop trying to be gangsters, and fucking stay with the jail and get a job, like office job or out. Stay something normal. I mean, the world would be a better place, wouldn't it?
Good advice, Gary. Good advice. So yeah, you came out. Obviously, we were training at Atlantis Gym, of course, which is the infamous gym in the Felon where Viv Green trained back in the day. And you you had me as a bit of a pet project. I was doing the door. You were keeping me fit, pushing us. You were like Mr. Motivator. I remember trying to sly off doing an extra bar on each side, and you were sticking an extra plate on, and come on, you can get a wrap with this. Yeah, it was good. I always we're always thankful for that. But I decided to do you a favour. I'd been up and down to London, hadn't I, and seen a few of these unlicensed shows that Joe Pyle was putting on, and a couple of other people down there. And I asked if you fancied a return to the ring.
I did, yeah. I come down, yeah. I really enjoyed it. Got some good memories from there. When we used to stay boxed in Hammersmith Pally, and then Caesar's Pally.
Hammersmith Pally, Caesar's in Stratton, yeah. And I remember that first show. I mean, the one we went down, I think you sold something like 60 tickets. We had 60 people jumping on the train coming down. It was like a jolly boys outing. We got down there, and you ended up in the same dressing room as your opponent.
He remember that. I think he tried pulling out, didn't he?
Well, I think he pulled out, didn't he? It was your very first show.
Right. He did pull out, didn't he? And we're like, because he's like, oh, how many fights? What?
The promoter put you in the same dressing room, and you were talking about your pro. He asked you if you'd had any pro fights, I think.
I'm a champ pro and all that, and he was like, what's who you're fighting now? I tell him, that's me. Like, me, you stand like that. When the same change room, he was like, oh, I'm not fighting it, didn't he? So we come back up, didn't we? And then we ended up on, I went up on telly the next day, didn't we? Britain's hardest. Yeah. I come to support you, and I ended up fucking knocking doors in. He stitched his feet up. It was good, like.
Yeah, Britain's Hardest was a program on Sky One. I remember that, and that was I was asked if I would fancy doing this particular show and take a motivator down with us. And the original idea was to have Gary Firby as the motivator. We got down there, and I realised that what I was going to be asked to do was going to be virtually impossible for me. So at the last minute, Gary decided to be the Britain's Hardest, and I became the motivator. And Gary had to kick and punch his way through. Was it 4 or 5 front doors?
I think it was 5 or something. 5 doors. I don't know. Right, I come second in that. It was just because I forgot to hold on the bars, and then people dragged us out. People used to say, "Did you meet Phil Mitchell?" Oh, he wasn't even there, was he?
No, it was just Ian Freeman. Ian Freeman was there.
Ian Freeman and the Viking and his brother, wasn't it? That was the Viking, right?
That's right. Yeah, good days. So yeah, to go from the pro scene, obviously you spent a bit of time inside, as we've said, but then to go to the unlicensed, did you find the unlicensed easier than the pro?
I thought it was. I thought, well, I was easier, but back then, when you're unlicensed, you still done like 6 rounders and all that, didn't you? And then the sort of phased it out in the 6 rounders, but they started to come back with unlicensed. It was mainly for like ex-pros and stuff like that, and a lot of people who's never boxed before and that. It was easier. It got harder. It got harder as it went on. There's more
match fairly. I mean, a lot of people who don't know what unlicensed is and maybe only watch boxing on a casual basis, is it as fair? Is it, you're fighting people of the same weight? Are you fighting people of the same experience? Already mentioned there that when you had your first fight, which didn't happen, the kid pulled out because you had a pro career. So is it, is that what unlicensed?
I don't think that kid ever boxed. I think he only had a couple of fights as well, didn't he? Unlicensed. Aye. You get some like that. There has been in the past in some ringers. I mean, I even boxed under different names a couple of times. I got asked to fight under different names. As somebody says, you ever boxed an Irishman? I was an Irishman once. I was called John O'Malley. 16 fights undefeated. I turned up in the ring and I was on you was like John O'Malley. What's going on here? Aye. There's some like that, like some mismatches and stitches, like. But
Nina Cranstoun asks, you explained that you wanted the Guv'nor belt. It means a lot to you. As you wanted it so bad, what does it mean to you now that you have it? And what does it stand for, as you both knew the origin? So what's the Guv'nor belt mean to you? And, now you've got it.
Means a lot of us. It's a legacy, isn't it? From great Lenny McLean, Roy Shaw, Cliff Fields, Norman Buckland, it's great. It's an honour to fight for it and to have it. It's like the world. It's like a world title, isn't it? Really in the unlicensed game. And I've got it. I've done out and I've set out to what I've set out. I've achieved everything and got to the highest thing that I've got. So it's a lot for us. You know what I mean? I like it. Finally got it.
What's the difference between the two belts then, Gary? Tell us a situation, because as you mentioned at the start of the podcast, there's a lot of people, saying that this isn't the real Guv'nor belt and this is the real Guv'nor belt. Which is the real belt? The belt that Roy Shaw and Lenny McLean had? Is there another one? Why is there another one?
Why is there another one? It's because, just went a bit stupid, didn't it? A certain person had a fight that was rigged, wasn't it? It was like a pantomime, wasn't it? Knocked the game. To be a Guv'nor, as I was saying, it gets passed down, doesn't it? From a Guv'nor to a Guv'nor. So there was needs sort of title left, was it? The man from Carlisle was claiming he was the Guv'nor when he got beat off Tyrone Williams. In London, it was just all messed up. Nobody really knows who the Guv'nor was. Tyrone Williams was really the last Guv'nor in London. Who was a decent pro in that. Norman has always been the Guv'nor. He's the real Guv'nor. He's retired. And Norman passed I fought for it, give us the opportunity to fight for it, but I had to be bare knuckle, and I fought for it, and I won it. So it's handed down, isn't it? Handed down. And now there'll be arguments and bitching on and shit like that, but everybody knows who the Guv'nor is. Norman's a Guv'nor. I'm a Guv'nor. I am the current Guv'nor. So if they ever wanted to give us a shot at the London one, I'll take that one, but that'd be a straight one. But that would never happen with it. So I've got the Guv'nor belt, the true Guv'nor belt, which is that one there, that gold one there. There we go.
The opportunity would be great if you could have got everyone's heads together and fought for it. Fought for the ultimate Guv'nor title. It would make common sense. Do you know what I mean? Maybe as a promoter will be brave enough to do that at some point. But we'll see. We'll see. As you say, you are the Guv'nor, Gary. So good on you. Reese Young says it's good to see you all keeping well, Gary, mate. You're a top man.
Nice one, Luke. How you doing? Sorry, I'm asking after him.
Lee Ellison says the Northeast's had some really good boxers over the years, from McCrory, Simpson, Dougie Curran, Cash Hussein, Buchanan, John Watson, Gary Firby, now Ritson and the Benwell Bomber, Joe Laws, flying the flag, but we don't seem to get the recognition up in the Northeast. That list is only a handful. Audrey Guthrie flew the flag for women boxers at one point. It would be good to have a talk in with her. Cheers, Lee. Yeah, she's a bus driver now, if I remember rightly.
Spot on, Audrey. I remember when she had her first fight at the Mayfair.
Yeah.
John Davidson was training. I've 50 pence on her. We used to have because we were in the boxing show and weighed in that fight. And I think I used to put 50 pence each on the people in there. I have 50 pence on Audrey. She won. I got a quid.
Last of the big spenders, Gary. Last of the big spenders.
But the thing about recognition, it's totally right, because to be fair, the kind of this Guv'nor thing and that, they didn't want the Guv'nor thing outside London, did they? I've got it up here, haven't I? So they're all stamping and kicking themselves, and they just want to. We're real people, man. We're not idiots. We're not puppets. We're not something to parade about. We're real people, and we're doing our job. That's it at the end of the day. Like the belts there, Norman Buckland Guv'nor belt is the Guv'nor belt handed down from Norman Buckland, who was a Guv'nor. We just want to get in the heads.
Yeah, fair enough, Gary. I think you made your point on that. John Ball says, did you get much bother while working on the doors, Gary, having the boxing background? Of course, one of your jobs, another job that we did together was security, working on the doors in Newcastle, and you worked in Lowfell quite a lot as well. I mean, did you ever have an increase in trouble because people thought they could have a go at you?
When I started the doors, I used to have to do 4 fights a week, man. I was like a rake. I was that skinny. A door jacket wouldn't fit. I used to wear like Kiss and all that had their own jackets with Kiss or bars. I got given a glass cutters t-shirt. It was only 12 stone. So I tried to hire anybody out. I have a door bars doing this. I tried to hire anybody out. Well, I wanted the chillers, didn't I? Thinking I was a glass cutter. So I was a struggle at the start, like. You just work your way through it over the years, didn't you?
Yeah.
Right. Nowadays, you can't. I didn't know. I'll do on shows like boxing shows or the odd rave and that. You kind of do it like Stevie, like we done it years ago when it was back in the 90s and 2000s and that. You could clip people then. No, you clip somebody mouth out here, you clip them, the fucking copy. So what we're claiming it.
Toughest bar that you worked on then, Gary?
Toughest bar. Got to be cage bar on it. Got to be cage bar. Was that rough? It was, even if you went in Pilgrim Street in the reception, there was a sign saying a notice on the wall because I got locked up once for something. And I come out and I was in reception. And I had a sign there saying, "Do not enter this bar by all means," for how violent and rough it was. It was mental cage bar, I want it. Yeah.
Yes, in the big market, of course, right at the bottom of the big market, you had cage bar and you had.
It used to be Buicks before that. It was Buicks before that, and I used to work there as well when it was Buicks with Rob Bainbridge, Gary Ferry, and that. Peter Moore, Kev Barrett, and that. Had a good old squad, Lawrence Bowden, and that. Then with the Days, glory days, wasn't it?
Some good lads there that you've just mentioned, and yeah, as you say, that was probably one of the roughest bars in the town. Bad Blood podcast, how are you doing, mate? He goes, sorry, but Decker was never the real governor. To be the governor, you have to beat the governor.
Exactly. Did he beat us?
No,
definitely not. He's hard as fuck on YouTube. I think his videos. If you went and seen him, he'd probably grass you, but I let him. I didn't want to. You've got more fans than you travel, isn't he?
You've gone from the unlicensed. I mean, how many unlicensed fights did you have with the gloves on?
Can't remember. I wrote 96, I think.
Wow, 96 fights. I mean, that's incredible. And we'll joke on saying that you had more comes backs than Sinatra, but I mean, I have been to a few of your retirement dues, and you have. It has to be said. Why the move into bare knuckle then? To walk away from the glove sport. Did you just fancy it? Was it a new challenge? And
I had a few bare knuckle years ago as well. Not like in. Like it's in boxing rings and all that. No, fucking in the early 2000s and 90s, man. It was in a field, a car park, or in the skip out like that, on it. So I'd always done a bit in the past. But I fancied that HBL thing, and I got put the ultimate prize there. So I couldn't knock it back, could I? I had to do it. Actually, Harry, it's easy, isn't it? It's not easy. It's a different experience. You've got to see it to believe it. You've got to be in it to believe it. Altogether, I had 131 boxing. When I had 131 boxing, I won 94 drew 5. That was my boxing record. The bare knuckle, I had about 14 or 11 or something. That's what I had.
I mean, it does to the punter. It just looks brutal, the bare knuckle. I mean, I've seen some. You talked about Kevin Bennett earlier, and I think I saw one of the most destructive performances I've ever seen at the bare knuckle show. And Kevin specialised when he was a pro in body shots, and to get a shot with just wraps on, I just seeing people double up. It's got to hurt more, Gary.
It is. Even I've refed them as well. You see some of them who come out and fight and they don't know how to punch properly. They fucking smash their hands straight away. And you'll see some of them just have lumps appearing in them like instantly. A lot of fights haven't gone far in the HBLs or sometimes in the ring. But it's a bit better now with that BKB. They're more like ex-boxers, pro boxers and that. But like when I've done work for James Quinn, doing the knuckle. Was it Knuckle or something? Knuckle Promotions? It was like a big market fight, and they didn't even get around because they were breaking their hands. Like you say, Kevin Bennett was ideal, but the body shots, break them to the body, and a few taps to the head, and he was getting them. Michael Firby done the same. He was good. He was a good body puncher. Michael Firby, fast hands, could catch you at the body as well, and take your head off you, wouldn't he? Get a clean shot.
Yeah. Gary Kirkup says, looking well there, Ferbster. That's from Gary Kirkup.
Cheers, guys. I'll let her pop up and see you. I keep seeing how well I'll pop up sometime for the week to see you, mate.
We hear the stories about the bare knuckles money, and I've seen this. I've seen a bit of publicity in the newspapers, and it's doing well. It's getting TV deals, etc. And part of me regrets not getting involved and going into the program when you hear some of the figures bandying around. But is it true, or is it Facebook talk when you hear some of the money that people are supposedly getting paid for these fights?
It is. Well, they'll get like fucking 500 quid, but they'll tell you they're getting 3 grand and 5 grand, isn't it? Yeah. Some of them are exaggerating, and some of them, I think the highest person I now got paid was like 3 grand or something. But they claim they got 10 grand.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that exaggerate the wages, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, really. I mean, you hear the money that's getting mentioned, and then you're looking at how many people are at the venue and where they're holding it, and you're thinking, well, who the hell's putting this money in for these purses? It just doesn't make sense,
Where they get it from? My last fight, I fought for now, please.
Right.
Come on. I fought for now. I'll give me money away. Give it to charity. Give half it to mental health and the other half to cancer. On DD, So I wasn't really bothered with my last 5 fights. I just done it just to prove a point, to be fair.
You had a fight blindfolded as well, didn't you? What was that like?
Mate. You couldn't see, obviously, but the first punch Dan Bentley hit really snapped me foot. He knocked us over the ropes. 17 stone, what a big right hand knee there. I shite myself. Do you know what? I got mortal drunk in underneath before, and I was going to pollute. Because if you think about it, it's fucking it was suicidal what we were doing. Two people, good punchers, getting blindfolded and take the heat out. And I was like, the knee before I fought, what the fuck am I doing? I was that close to pulling out. Luckily enough, when he hit us though, like the mask moved a little bit, and it was like dead hazy. I couldn't see with 5%. You could just see a shadow, and he could with me. So we'd give it a bit of time to ease a bit. But if not, like it could have been lethal, that couldn't it? I never finished right hand. He hit us with. I thought, what was I getting hit by a car? Whack! I was like, oh shit! It's good, hard. You couldn't breathe hardly with that mask on, and that was good.
You've obviously saying you're retired now. I can imagine you're coming back out of something appealed, but you've gone into the acting side of things now as well. You've been cast by Gary Fraser on the Sears film. You play Viv Graham, who, as we've already pointed out, used to train at the Atlantis gym in Felon. So how have you found that? Because it's a big break for you. It's your first real acting job, and you've been cast by a double BAFTA winning director in a big film.
It's a great opportunity. Mm-hmm. It was a great opportunity. It was excellent to be asked to play somebody like Viv. Excellent. Honestly, it's going to be an epic journey. Like, and as you know, I think this is going to take off. It's going to be massive. When me and Paul went, and it was funny as well. For I play Viv, and Paul Venner plays Lee Duffy, and we actually had a fight with each other 12 years ago. It was mad. Paul won, Paul Venner won. What did he say? I was the only man that got the distance from him. Knocked everybody out. I took the fight. I think I took the fight in a couple of days' notice. Went, dude, fucking hell. Oh, I think there's another hard puncher. He was one of the hardest kids I've ever had. Remember, he punches, I thought it was a fucking ice cold knife going through my head. How hard he hits. He was an animal. Paul won it. Tough kid, better man on the day, innit? Better man on the day.
Yeah. I mean, you did your first workshop. How did you think that went for yourself? It's obviously, as you say, it's new. It's different to you. What did you what did you make of that?
Nervous. It was hard because you've done that scenario thing. You've got to convince people. Wanted to convince. They tell you something. There was a few when they had to do the story. Remember? And I just stood like that. I didn't even flicker emotion, and I got caught straight away. But as the day went on, we've done all right. And people ask us how you feel for acting in it, and it actually you're not acting. You're not doing a script, are you? So you just be yourself. You just go over the scenarios. And me and you done it. Was good. Was picking up quite good. And when I was surprised at the feedback. A couple of people says that, like how well I picked it up. That was just the first one. So once we get this COVID thing done, I'm looking forward to more of it. And it's going to be a good adventure.
Mal Gates says, looking good, lads. Hi, Mal. Good to hear from you. Hope you're well, mate. Get yourself a copy of Every Boy's Dream, mate, and you're in it. The other thing, with did you ever meet him? Did you ever come across Viv or not?
No, never met him. Died in, when was it, 93, 94, wasn't it? New Year's Eve, 94. So I was only about 13 or something, 40, I was just a pen. I used to hear a lot of stories about him. Obviously, being from the Felon and that, and we fights in the Felon, and he was with Big Billy and that. Heard a lot about him. And I remember when he died, there was like a deathly silence. So Newcastle, Gates, and everywhere. When he was I can remember when he died, and I'm talking from me being a kid. I can remember my ma. Remember like in Hopper Road, standing. I remember being in the burn looking out at Newcastle. And you're just thinking, and it was just everything was just dead silence. There was an atmosphere everywhere, wasn't there?
Yeah.
It was such a big force, a big man, wasn't he? Had an impact on everybody. And when that happened, it was like, oh, but I heard a lot of stories about him, and that, like I say, I can never remember meeting him. I don't think I did meet him, to be fair. Didn't ever bump into him in the film. You know, some of the characters in the film, he wasn't one of them that I bumped into. But it's gonna be great playing him. And it's like when I got the part, got a bit stick off people and that. And I says, yeah, if it wasn't me, it'd be somebody else doing it. And listen, I'm not a piss taker. I'll play Viv as best as I can, and as truthful as I can. So I do the man justice and not make him look silly. Do the best I can for him.
Yeah. Bad Blood Podcast says, tell Gary good luck for his role in the film Unreal Opportunity. And he says a BKB fight that he would pay to see is Gary Firby versus Davy Joyce.
Davy Joyce. I've got a lot of respect for the Joyces, a lot of respect for the Joyces. I think Nino was only with me boxing Davy Joyce a few years ago. They were kind of boxing. Never happened. I don't know what happened to it, but he's that's how you defend our belt. Would be considered London's best fighter.
If you defend the belt for Guv'nor, who would be considered London's best fighter? Phil Jones, Hamer, or somebody else?
If he was to defend our belt for the Guv'nor, Oh, so if they had for the if they put their London Guv'nor title up, for me to fight them.
Yeah, ask Gary if he was to defend our belt for the Guv'nor, who would he consider London's best fighter? Phil Jones, Even Hammer, or someone else?
I don't know. Phil Jones. Sven's a big, strong, powerful lad. I don't know. Phil Davies. There's a few of them in there.
Yeah.
Some of them I haven't even heard of. Well, Sven, I box Sven. Phil Davies, I've seen him box. Norman Buckland, obviously, he's a good lad. But Davy Joyce, I've got a lot of respect there. Maybe mates meant we going out to see the Joyces, with Joe Joyce and that in a few months' time when this COVID thing's sorted.
Yeah. Okay. Lee Ellison, he asks, how do you prepare to play a role like Viv? Do you just have to do research, or is it more of what you know? So what are you going to do, Gary, to prepare for the role?
Obviously, you've got a bit of research, but we've been in the same world. Not as high as Viv, but I don't know. I'm just what I'll in that thing with. We sort of pick it up, don't we?
Yeah.
Etc. Phil Davies. I boxed Phil Davies because he offered a Zoom a few months ago.
There we go. Spartan Fight Club TV, you've got your answer. He would fight Phil Davies. That's who he would fight. He's already boxed Sven. The weight, I was at that fight. You were very brave to take it. I think there was something like a 6 or a 7 stone weight difference.
It was only 13.5 stone or something at the time. How long been together?
fair, I thought you boxed well in the first round or whatever, but he's just, you're always going to struggle when someone's got that extra weight on you, especially.
Oh, he was a fucking banger. He could hit,
Oh,
you know.
He was unbeaten. He was a monster, and he's a nice lad as well. He's a good.
I know. But when I finally something I shared on it, and somebody says what was the result of that, and they put a comment on Facebook and messages, and I went, listen, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll tell you the truth. I was just the way it was. I wasn't allowed to win, and he was a bit upset with that. But I was like, well, listen, I says, yeah, I says I outboxed you. I says, but fucking an aviators were gonna fucking knock us out. I had total respect for his friend when I like messaged him and we talk to each other. Fucking hit you, man. He fucking hit you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. John Smart says, any chance of Wraith versus Firby? Maybe some tiddlywinks. Or Connect 4. Definitely not the ring at all. No chance whatsoever.
No. He's from 30 years.
Spartan Fight Club says, want to say publicly, if Joey wants to get in touch and Gaz is up for it, Spartan would put Phil Davies versus Firby fight on for both belts, bare knuckle, in the bales, as it should be, king of the cobbles. So at least it's there. It's on video. I'm sure Gary would speak to them, and you can sort that out, Gary. But at least it's out there, and I know you said you would fight Phil Davies. So
I'd box him, and I'd box him in the ring.
I told you we'll come back to Frank Sinatra, you lad.
Well, we just see what happens. They'll all be arguing amongst each other. They'll fucking tell Facebook fucking posts and that. I just chill and yet. Well, no, I haven't actually. The reckon he's done like what Colonel Gaddafi done now. Dug one of them holes and fucking burrowed like a rat. Fucking, I didn't want to find him. I can't be honest. Will everybody please leave Decker alone? Stop mentioning others.
Good luck to him. He's concentrating on his film career. So
there's more to life than DH, isn't there?
Best of luck. You might end up fighting each other on screen as actors. That's what might happen.
That never happened. Probably copperers.
Well, what we'll do is we'll leave it there, Gary. It's we're hitting on to the hour now, mate. So listen, great to have you on, and I hope everyone's enjoyed it. Something a little bit different. Good chance for you to promote yourself a little bit, Gary, and stay safe during the COVID, mate. And look forward to seeing you back on set.
Hey, bye, mate. I'll speak to you soon, and thank you everybody that's tuned in.
Take care,
have a good weekend.
Last chance to promote your show. When is it? August, hopefully.
August the 8th. Spartan Wars, Tyneside, Rainton Meadows Arena, 24 fights on. Be there.
How can people get tickets?
You can get tickets on sale, get them off the fighters. See me for tickets. The tickets will be here next week. And watch us on Facebook when I'm advertising. See me and see the fighters that's on the show. Get in touch with them and get the tickets off them.
Follow Gary Firby.
It's going to be a sellout. The
likes of Dougie Curran, Chrissy Bennett are on there. So if you're friends with them, get them off. Get the tickets off them. It helps them out.
Jamie Jones, my Joe, everybody's on.
Joe Firby's on as well. Great stuff. Jamie Jones. John Smart says, thank you guys, 2 Northeast legends. Thanks, John. Very kind of you, mate. I'm definitely not fighting Gary. Take care, brother. See you soon.
Hey, what are you doing?
God bless you. Bye-bye. Good to have Gary on. Right. 5-minute break, guys. And then Neil Jackson is interviewing me about my book, Every Boy's Dream. Tomorrow night, I've got Steve Howie back to Newcastle United stuff tomorrow at 6 o'clock till 7. Me and Steve Howie talking about Newcastle United and the takeover, which is obviously ongoing at Newcastle. But 5 minutes break, and then I'll be back on to talk about my book. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Good night. God bless. Wish you well.